I'd like to start today out with a Zen story. There was a Zen master, highly regarded, scheduled to speak at a monastery up in the countryside. All the students were so excited. People in the village, people from long distances came in, even days ahead of time. The day finally came, and the Zen master was scheduled to speak. And even though it was held outside in the courtyard, there was no empty spaces. It was packed. Everyone got so silent when he came in from the back of the room. He made his way up to the front gradually, coming through the crowd. He got up next to the podium. Beautiful day. And he sat down and he took a few moments, several breaths. Then a bird flew in, came out of nowhere, landed right on the podium. The bird sang a few chirps and then flew off back into the sky. The Zen master took a few more moments and a few more breaths. And then, to the surprise of everyone, he got up and started to leave. Made his way to the right and started going back through the crowd again. All the students were asking, "Where are you going? We're waiting to hear your message." People came days in advance, long distances. The Zen master paused on his way out, and he said to the crowd, "Didn't you hear? The bird gave the message for today." Didn't you hear? The bird gave the message for today. So, as you know, my name is Gilbert Manuel Bovell. I have a practice called Shine Your Light Today. My higher calling is to help everyone hear the divine message that's within everything. And that's within you. To love you and support you. To help remove those things that are preventing or blocking, that are causing separation. That you can hear the divine in the wind. You can feel the divine when the sun hits your skin, with every beat of your heart, and with every breath that you take. So a few years ago, I suffered a concussion. Leading up to the concussion, whew, I was a professional multitasker. Father of two, coaching, working, recreational athlete, loved basketball. The more I could do, the better. I loved it. I loved life. That all stopped. I fell off a porch. I hit my head on the driveway. For about 2 years, I was off the grid. Functionality came down to about 10%. Couldn't use a pen, trouble getting to the refrigerator. If I got to the mailbox, might not get back. My wife at the time, one of the best researchers you'll ever find, beautiful person, lined up the best doctors you could find. Harvard Neurology, Columbia Medicine, Johns Hopkins University, Penn Neurology. You name it, I was there. Left the country for a little while. Concussions are still a mystery. They kind of fall under the category of the invisible condition. Didn't find healing there. Towards the tail end of this really dark period, thinking became excruciatingly painful to the point where I had to go into isolation. I was actually living out of my daughter's closet for a good period of time. It's the darkest room in the house, the only room with no windows, quietest room in the house. And it was there. In the darkest place of my life, that I found everything. I found the essence that's within me and the essence that's within you and the essence that's within everything. The canvas that everything sits on. If you remember that story in I think it's the Old Testament, Moses, right? He walks up to the Red Sea. And you might know, right? He parts the Red Sea. How I see it now, the Red Sea in the present moment is the thinking mind with unhelpful thoughts and the emotions. When we part that sea, the promised land is there. And it's not necessarily in this direction, going away from you, finding it out there. It's actually, as you know, coming this way, coming this way. to the truth of who you really are. Everything changed. Everything I thought I knew. I see differently. The divine can't necessarily be put into words, but the best way, the best language that I can produce are the words unconditional divine love. And one of the reasons why I passed out we passed out those books, thank you for that, is if you'd like to take any notes, one of the things that I have clients write down on the inside flap of the book is unconditional divine love. As a pointer, so now it's actually funny. I have a book coming out called Where the Light Gets In. And my friend Nick, he pictures me in the closet, my daughter's closet, whenever he hears that title. I start healing rapidly. I start seeing angels and orbs and light energy. Things dramatically change and shift. At the same time, my wife at the time came across a book called Hands of Light, written by Barbara Brennan. Phenomenal book. I didn't know the first thing. We both didn't know anything about chakras or light energy or fields. So now there was a framework for some of the things that were happening to me. I end up taking the Barbara Brennan curriculum. If you're not familiar with Barbara Brennan, she was a NASA physicist and an energy healer, one of the best ones of our time. She developed a school down in Florida, linking science and the energy space together beautifully, masterfully work. It's a 4-year program, so I ended up taking that, became a Barbara Brennan practitioner. Highly, highly recommend that material for anyone that's interested. And that led to my practice. I get it now. My higher calling is to support everyone and love everyone and to be the vessel that I'm supposed to be, to step aside, to let the light come through. It's so great. And everything I'm saying, you already know. Some people know it more than others. I get it. I'm just a reminder. I'm just here to love you and support you. So, where the light comes through, oftentimes, can be the darkest times. It can feel like a ruin. So, everyone's journey is specific to you, wherever you are, being present. And it's so easy to say those things. So, in working with clients, I developed a little bit of a framework for them. If it resonates with you, feel free to write them down if you choose. The first thing is that there's three pillars that I provide all of my clients. The first one is letting go. Again, words can be so simple, but actually embodying that, that's could be something else. So where do we start? Letting go. Okay, what does that mean? I'm a vessel. Okay, what does that mean? One of the easy places to start with most of my clients, let's start with letting go of complaining. Everything fits together. One of the things that I saw when things changed for me is that every single piece of sand is exactly where it's supposed to be. Every mountain and every valley is exactly where it's supposed to be. So instead of complaining, replacing it with what? My gosh, it could be so many things that are just uncomfortable or not going the way we want them to go. I suggest, if it resonates with you, replace it with a thank you. Thank you so much. I have no complaints. The second pillar that I share with my clients is trust. Anyone ever heard of a trust fall? Has anyone ever done trust fall, right? Okay. Think of that a little bit when it comes to, okay, this process. And it's one of the easy ways that I suggest for clients to go down this road of trust, like a trust fall. Start small. Start small. The universe is always giving you a door. There's always going to be another elevator. Step into it. See where it takes you. The universe is for you. The last pillar is surrender. Letting go, trust can be very helpful with surrender. And they're all intertwined. They all come together and they're all supporting each other. Thinking about what is out of your control, what is happening by itself, what's divine intelligence. That could be very helpful with surrender. Are we necessarily in control of all of the infinite things happening inside of the body? The heart beating, the cells flowing. Are we in control of the earth spinning or gravity or the sun shining? That's where the divine trust comes in. You know it's happening. That could be helpful with surrendering and stepping aside. They all go together. And then guess what? It gets better. It gets better. And it keeps getting better. And then every single thing, you get to notice it. And you begin to see the divine in it. Might be easy to see the divine maybe in a rainbow, a beautiful sunset. The divine is everywhere. I'll be closing in a couple of minutes, and I want to share a story. It kind of wraps everything up here a little bit, kind of helps the letting go, the trust, and the surrender. It helps when you feel like you might be going through a dark time. I feel like things are in ruins. So going back to my recovery, things are shifting, things are happening, but my functionality kind of hit a wall. And I did a meditation. Actually, it's out of the Barbara Brennan Hands of Light book. It's a self-healing meditation. And okay, sat down. And these concussion symptoms, if anyone's not familiar with them, can be so debilitating. Mental fatigue, physical fatigue, everything is just, it's like a cell phone that's about to turn off and then it turns off. So I sit down to this meditation and I go into it. It started to feel almost like an egg around me, this invisible egg, this sphere, a field. And it had texture, 360 degrees, and it had all of the symptoms that were holding me back. Everything that took me out of my everyday life was in this sphere, and it was around me 360 degrees. Everything I was fighting against, going to doctors for, angry at, holding me down, pulling me out of everyday life was in this sphere. I could feel it. And you know what? All that anger I had for it, I could feel that it was loving me. This fear that was around me, that took me out of my life. My kids were growing up, 12 years old, 10 years old, didn't know what was happening for the most part. His new dad was not well, couldn't work. All of that was actually loving me. And then I felt it dissolving. I felt this sphere, this circle that was around me beginning to dissolve. And you know what else happened? I got so sad. I could feel that it was loving me. It had no ill will. It was simply doing what was meant for me. It was simply taking me where I needed to go. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here with you right now. I wouldn't know who I really am. I wouldn't know the essence that's within you. And that's within everything. It was like losing my best friend. So I share that story as a closing because I know I would also like to do a Q&A. I'm coming up on 27 minutes on my time. Just to share with you every single thing in your life, from the bird outside to the times that might feel like ruins, they're all loving you. Can you hear? Did you hear? The bird gave the message for today.